In the previous video, we learned about how to create harmonic meaning with the basic element of tonal harmony, the triad. But we have yet to discover how to string together multiple elements of harmony. For that, we need to understand context and function. In language, it's not enough to spell words correctly or use proper grammar. They must be related to each other through context. The sentence, "The dog drove the tree into the swimming pool," is technically grammatically correct, but it makes no sense because the words don't relate to each other. Music functions similarly. Context in music is indicated by something called a tonal center or key area, essentially a central pitch around which all others relate. For example, if I am in the key of C major, then C is my primary pitch. All other pitches will proceed afterwards and will relate to it in context. I can build harmonies from any of these other notes, but they will all relate to the pitch center of C. Thus, I label C as my first scale degree in C major with a Roman numeral 1, and the others 2 through 7 afterwards. I've now established context. I could use any other note as my tonal center, such as D or E, but we'll use C for now for simplicity's sake. Function describes what a harmony can do. Essentially, there are only 3 functions a harmony can have in music: tonic, predominant, and dominant. A tonic harmony is one with no implied or actual tension. A dominant harmony is a harmony with tension such that it requires resolution. A predominant harmony is something in between, one that does not require resolution but does not resolve any other harmony either. Here's what it would sound like to move from tonic to dominant and resolve to tonic. And here's what it would sound like to move from tonic to predominant, then dominant, then back to tonic. We will use our triads, the elements of tonal harmony, to demonstrate harmonic function. For the purposes of this video, I will not check intervals or explain harmonic elements. For a review on intervals and triads, please watch the previous videos in this series. The primary way to create a tonic harmony is to build a major triad from scale degree 1. In C major, I start with C and build a major triad. The primary way to create a dominant harmony is to build a triad from scale degree 5. And the primary way to create a predominant harmony is to build a triad from scale degree 4. Our most fundamental rule of harmonic function is that harmony must progress forward from tonic towards dominant, at which point it must be resolved by tonic. You may go from tonic to dominant, then back to tonic. Or from tonic to predominant to dominant, then back to tonic. But not from dominant to predominant, or from predominant to tonic. Therefore, our most common harmonic progression in music is 1, 4, 5, 1. Tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. In triads, it sounds like this. This is, in essence, our very first musical sentence. Here's what it sounds like with some more complex voicing. It's important to mention at this point that these are our primary rules for harmonic motion, and we'll already start to bend them in just a couple more lessons. Yes, great composers break rules all the time, but they also understand them and do so on purpose and not at random. Our system for describing musicianship is exactly that. It's a system that describes how sound behaves, and it's important to remember that sound and all its characteristics existed before this system. Like our system of taxonomy, classifying living things, changes with the discovery of new organisms, so our system of musicianship changes as we understand more and more about sound. But that's also a topic for another video. In this video, we learned about the basics of context and function in harmony, and we learned how to construct our very first musical sentence. We will now depart from the lecture format and begin to learn through analysis in our next video, where we will look at music that already exists and search for further musical concepts in music that we are familiar with.